They say you can't love two people at once. They're wrong. The heart doesn't follow rules. Mine broke every single one and nearly got me killed. Blood. That's all Adaeze saw when the gurney crashed through the emergency room doors. The man's chest was a mess of bullet holes, his shirt soaked crimson. His hand shot out with impossible strength, gripping her wrist as the nurses shouted commands around her. GSW to the chest and abdomen. He's crashing. Nurse G1 yelled, pushing the gurney toward the operating theater. Adaeze ran alongside, trying to pry his fingers loose. Sir, I need you to let go. His eyes snapped open. Dark. Intense. Focused entirely on her despite the blood pooling beneath him. His lips moved, barely a whisper. Found you. The monitor flatlined. The sound pierced through the chaos like a scream. We're losing him. Charging to 200. Adaeze grabbed the defibrillator pads, pressed them to his chest. His body convulsed with the shock, but his hand never released her wrist. Another shock. Another. Finally, a blip on the monitor. Then another. His eyes remained locked on hers even as consciousness faded. 3 days later, she found him awake in the recovery ward, watching her with that same intensity. Morning light softened the bruises on his face, but nothing could hide the danger that clung to him like cologne. You're awake. How's your pain level? She checked his vitals, professional despite the way her pulse quickened under his gaze. Manageable. Because of you. His voice was deep, accented Korean mixed with something rougher. She glanced at him. Handsome, despite everything. You're lucky. 3 bullets. Most people don't survive one. Luck had nothing to do with it. You wouldn't let me go. The way he said it made her skin prickle. Like he'd seen something in her. Something she didn't know was there. The police will want a statement about what happened. I fell. She raised an eyebrow. You fell. Into 3 bullets. The corner of his mouth lifted. I'm clumsy. That's when she noticed the tattoo on his forearm. Dragons intertwined, done in the Yakuza style. Her stomach tightened. What's your name? Min. And I already know yours, Adaeze. The way he said her name, with that perfect Igbo pronunciation, stopped her breath. How do you know my name? Your badge. I can read. But something in his eyes told her he was lying. He'd known her name before he saw the badge. Before the bullets. Before everything. If you're already hooked by this story, smash that subscribe button right now because this is just the beginning and you won't want to miss what happens next. 2 weeks later, Adaeze walked out of the hospital into the cool Busan evening and froze. A black Mercedes waited at the curb, gleaming under the streetlights. The driver opened the back door and Min stepped out, wearing a tailored black suit that probably cost more than her monthly salary. He looked completely healed, moving with the fluid grace of a predator. Min, you should still be in bed. I heal fast. Have dinner with me. It wasn't a question, but it wasn't quite a command either. Something in between that made her heart race. I don't even know you. He pulled a single black rose from behind his back. She'd never seen one before. Then let's fix that. She took the rose, running her finger along the petals. Black roses aren't real. They're dyed. Exactly. Something ordinary made extraordinary. Like you. He opened the car door wider. One dinner. If you hate it, I'll never bother you again. She should have said no. Should have walked away from the dangerous man with the dragon tattoo and the bullet scars. Instead, she got in the car. The restaurant overlooked Houndy Beach, all floor-to-ceiling windows and soft lighting. Min ordered in rapid Korean, then switched to English for her benefit. Tell me about Nigeria. About Lagos. About why you're here. Student loans. Nursing school debt. South Korea pays well for foreign medical staff. She sipped her wine, expensive and smooth. What about you? What do you do that pays for cars and restaurants like this? Import and export. Logistics. The practiced answer of someone used to lying. Boring stuff. Boring stuff doesn't usually come with bullet holes. He leaned forward, his hand covering hers on the table. You're direct. I like that. His thumb traced circles on her palm. The truth is, I work in a dangerous business. But I'm trying to get out. Find something cleaner. Why? Because I met a nurse who made me want to be better. His eyes held hers. Because for the first time in my life, I felt like someone saw me and didn't look away. She should have pulled her hand back. Should have recognized the red flags waving everywhere. But his touch was warm and his eyes were honest in a way his words weren't, and she'd been lonely for so long. One more dinner, she heard herself say. Let's see where this goes. One dinner became two. Two became weekends at his penthouse overlooking the city. Weekends became a month of stolen moments between her hospital shifts, his hands on her skin, his mouth claiming hers like he was drowning and she was air. Stay tonight, he murmured against her neck, his fingers tracing patterns on her bare shoulder. They were tangled in his expensive sheets, the city lights glittering below them like fallen stars. I have an early shift. Call in sick. He pulled her closer, his body warm and solid against hers. I never call in sick. Then I'll make it worth breaking your rules. He kissed her slowly, thoroughly, until she forgot why she needed to leave at all. She stayed. She always stayed. 3 months in, their relationship had settled into something intense and consuming. Min was possessive but attentive, demanding but generous. He bought her things she'd never dreamed of owning, took her places she'd only seen in magazines. But there were parts of his life he kept locked away, phone calls he took in another room, meetings he never explained. She started working a second job at Club Deluxe in Siamayan to save money faster, telling Min it was for extra experience. He didn't like it, but he didn't stop her either. The club was upscale, catering to wealthy clients who sometimes needed medical attention after too much drinking or other excesses. One Friday night, Manager Kim found her restocking supplies in the medical room. Table 7 needs you. VIP client. He's not doing well. Adaeze grabbed her medical bag and navigated through the pulsing music and neon lights. When she reached table 7, her heart stopped. Min sat slumped over the table, surrounded by empty bottles of soju. But something was wrong. The way he held himself. The cologne. Different. Min. What are you doing here? She touched his shoulder and he looked up with red-rimmed eyes. Vulnerable in a way she'd never seen him. You're really here. He wasn't lying. His words slurred together, heavy with alcohol and something that sounded like pain. Min, how much have you had to drink? She sat beside him, concerned now. He'd never been like this. Never this unguarded. I'm not. He stopped himself, seemed to struggle with something internal. I'm not okay. Nothing's okay anymore. She touched his face, turning him toward her. He leaned into her palm like a man starving for gentle touch. What happened? Did something go wrong with business? Everything. Everything's wrong. Has been for months. His eyes focused on her with desperate intensity. Can we go somewhere quiet? Please. I can't breathe in here. Every instinct screamed warning, but he looked so broken. Come on. There's a private recovery room upstairs. She helped him stand, surprised by how he leaned heavily on her. Min was always so strong, so controlled. This felt different. He felt different. Even his cologne was wrong, something citrus instead of his usual cedar and smoke. The recovery room was dimly lit and quiet, designed for clients who needed to sleep off their excesses in peace. She guided him to the leather couch and he pulled her down beside him, his grip urgent. Don't go. Not yet. His voice cracked. Min, you're drunk. Let me get you some water and say my name again. The request was strange, desperate. What? When you say his name, He stopped, seemed to realize he'd said too much. Just say it again. Please. Something was wrong. Something she couldn't identify. But his vulnerability pulled at her. Min. He kissed her. But it was completely different from every other kiss they'd shared. Softer. Seeking permission rather than taking. His hands cupped her face like she was made of glass, his lips moving against hers with a tenderness that made her chest ache. She should have stopped. Should have questioned. But this gentleness was intoxicating after months of Min's intensity. She kissed him back, her fingers threading through his hair. He made a sound low in his throat, pulling her closer but never demanding. Always asking. They made love on that couch, and it was nothing like the passionate, almost violent encounters she'd shared with Min. This was slow. Careful. He watched her face the entire time, studying every expression like he was memorizing her. When she gasped, he whispered, "You're so beautiful," with such reverence it brought tears to her eyes. Afterward, they lay tangled together, his fingers tracing lazy patterns on her skin. "I've wanted to meet you for so long," he whispered. The words penetrated the haze of satisfaction. "Meet me? Min, we've been together for months." His body tensed against hers. She felt it immediately, the way his breathing changed. "Adaeze, I need to tell you something." "What is it?" Long pause. Too long. Then, "I think I'm falling in love with you." She sat up, pulling the blanket around herself. Min had never said those words. Never even hinted at them. Their relationship was physical, intense, but never explicitly emotional. "You've never said that before." "I know. I should have. From the beginning, I should have." He sat up too, reaching for her hand. "I'm sorry it took me so long." She kissed him again, moved by this openness. This was what she'd wanted from Min all along. Vulnerability. Truth. She let herself believe it was real, that something had shifted between them tonight. They fell asleep wrapped around each other. When she woke, sunlight streamed through unfamiliar windows. She was alone. This wasn't Min's penthouse. The view was wrong. The furniture was different. Where was she? Min. She wrapped the blanket around herself and explored the apartment. Modern, clean, but definitely not the place she knew. Photos on the wall made her stop cold. Two identical boys, maybe 8 years old, arms around each other, grinning at the camera. Same face. Same eyes. Twins. More photos. The boys growing up. Always together in early pictures, then increasingly separate. Recent photos showed them as men. One was unmistakably Min. The other was identical but different somehow. Softer expression. Gentler eyes. The front door opened. The man from last night entered carrying coffee, froze when he saw her standing at the photo wall. "You weren't supposed to wake up yet." His voice was steady now. Sober. "Who are you?" Her voice shook. "I'm Tae. Kim Tae. Min's twin brother." He set down the coffee carefully, like any sudden movement might make her bolt. "Twin." The word felt like broken glass in her mouth. "You let me think you were Min. You knew and you let me. I tried to tell you. Last night I tried. You tried." Her voice rose. "You knew I thought you were Min. You knew and you slept with me anyway." "At first, yes. But then I told you my name." "No, you said, 'Say my name.' You never actually said your name was Tae." She grabbed her clothes from the floor, hands shaking too hard to dress properly. He moved closer, hands raised in surrender. "Please, just listen. I've known about you for months. Min talks about you constantly. Shows me pictures. I saw you and I fell for you without ever meeting you. Is that insane?" "Yes. But last night, when you were there, when you looked at me with such concern, I couldn't walk away." "Does Min know?" Her voice was barely a whisper. His silence answered everything. "Oh God." She pressed her hand to her mouth. "What have I done? Please don't tell him." "Not yet." Let me explain to him first. Explain what? I'm with your brother. I know and I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry about last night. About us. That was real, Adaeze. What I feel for you is real. Tae's voice cracked with desperation. She yanked on her clothes, tears streaming down her face. Stay away from me. Both of you. Just stay away. She ran from the apartment, his voice calling after her, but she didn't stop. Couldn't stop. The guilt consumed her. She'd betrayed Min, slept with his brother. Let herself believe lies because she wanted the tenderness Tae offered. She scrubbed herself raw in the shower, trying to wash away the shame, but it clung to her skin like oil. The doorbell rang, persistent and demanding. She knew without checking who it was. Min's knock. Aggressive. Impatient. Go away. She pulled on a robe, hands still shaking. Open the door, Adaeze. His voice carried through the wood. Not angry yet. Concerned. She opened it because hiding would only make things worse. Min stood there holding a jewelry box, his expression softening when he saw her face. Surprise. I know you're working tonight, but I wanted to give you this before. He stopped. His eyes narrowed. What's wrong? Nothing. I'm just tired. He entered without invitation, closing the door behind him. His gaze swept over her, cataloging every detail. You're lying. You never lie to me. What happened? Min, please. I just need some space today. Space. He set down the jewelry box with careful precision. From me. After 3 months of no space. His jaw tightened. Did someone hurt you? No. Did someone touch you? The way he said it. Dangerous. Possessive. The air in the room changed, became charged with potential violence. Min, don't. Tell me who and I'll handle it. I'll make them disappear. He stepped closer, his hands gentle on her shoulders despite the rage building behind his eyes. Tell me. She broke. The guilt was too heavy. The secret too corrosive. It was Tae. It was your brother. Silence. The kind that comes before explosions. Min's hands dropped from her shoulders. His face went blank, wiped clean of all expression. That's when she knew she'd made a terrible mistake. Min angry was dangerous. Min emotionless was lethal. What? His voice was too quiet. Last night at the club. I thought he was you. He was drunk and vulnerable and I thought I was helping you. The words tumbled out too fast. Then we. I didn't know until this morning. Min, I swear I didn't know. You slept with my brother. Not a question. A statement of fact. I thought he was you. How was I supposed to know you had a twin you never mentioned? And he let you. Min's voice dropped even lower. He knew exactly what he was doing and he let you think he was me. He turned and punched the wall. His fist went through the plaster like it was paper. She flinched, backing away. He'd never been violent around her before. Never. When you're mine, you're only mine. I told you that. He pulled his fist from the wall, knuckles bleeding. I gave you everything. Protected you. Kept you separate from my world so you'd be safe. And his voice broke. He couldn't even let me have this one clean thing. I didn't know about your world. About any of it. The bullets, the tattoos, the way people look at you. What are you, Min? What are you really? He laughed, bitter and sharp. You want the truth? Fine. Tae and I run the South District. Territory, protection, imports that don't go through customs. We're what polite people call organized crime. The words hit her like physical blows. You're gangsters. We're survivors. We do what we have to do in a world that's always wanted us dead. He moved to the window, staring out at the city. Our parents died when we were 8. Car crash. The organization took us in, raised us, made us into weapons. Tae became the strategist. I became the enforcer. We've been fighting our way through hell for 20 years. Why didn't you tell me? Because I wanted one thing in my life that wasn't covered in blood. He spun to face her. You looked at me like I was human. Not a tool. Not a killer. Just a man. Do you know how rare that is? She sat heavily on the couch. And Tae's always been the soft one. The one who still believes in redemption and second chances and all that bullshit. Min's hands clenched into fists. He saw you and wanted what I had. That's how it's always been. Whatever I have, he wants. That's not fair. You don't know what he feels. I know exactly what he feels because I feel it too. You think I don't know my own brother? We shared a womb, Adaeze. Shared everything our entire lives. I know he loves you. That's why I'm going to kill him. No. She jumped up. Min, please. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Text message. Meet me. Busan Port. Warehouse 7. Come alone or Min dies. Tae. She stared at the screen, then showed it to Min. He read it, his expression darkening further. He didn't send that. How do you know? Because Tae would never threaten me to get to you. Someone else wants us all in one place. He pulled out his own phone, dialed. Tae. Don't go to Warehouse 7. It's a trap. Pause. I don't care what the message said. Stay where you. He looked at the phone. He hung up. Idiot's already on his way. What's happening? We've been at war with the Yakuza connections in Jigalki. They've been looking for weakness. You're it. He grabbed her hand. Come on. We need to move. I'm not going anywhere with you. You are, or you're dead by morning. Choose. His eyes held hers. Still angry. Still betrayed. But beneath it all, still protective. Still hers in whatever broken way he could be. She grabbed her jacket. They ran. The warehouse district was dark and empty, massive buildings looming like sleeping giants. Min parked 2 blocks away, checking his gun with practiced efficiency. Stay behind me. Don't speak unless I tell you to. If shooting starts, run for the water and hide under the pier. Min. I mean it, Adaeze. You run. He touched her face, thumb brushing her cheek. I failed at keeping you safe from my world. I won't fail at keeping you alive. They entered Warehouse 7 through a side door. Inside, Tae stood facing a dozen armed men. He looked up when they entered, relief and fear mixing on his face. You shouldn't have come. Neither should you, Min said, moving to stand beside his brother. For a moment, they looked like the boys in the photos. United. Whole. From the shadows, an older man emerged. Expensive suit. Cold eyes. Boss Kong. How touching. The twins and their shared toy. She's not a toy, Min and Tae said simultaneously. Boss Kong smiled. No. Then why are you ready to tear each other apart over her? I've been watching. Waiting for the perfect pressure point. He gestured at Adaeze. And she's perfect. Kill her and you both lose. Keep her and you destroy each other. Either way, I take your territory. Min's gun was already drawn. Touch her and I burn your entire operation to ashes. For once, we agree. Tae had produced a knife from somewhere, holding it with deadly competence. Boss Kong laughed. Mathematics, boys. I have 12 guns. You have 2 weapons. How does this end well for you? Adaeze stepped forward, her voice steady despite her terror. It ends with me calling the police 20 minutes ago. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing closer. Boss Kang's smile faltered. Bluff. Try me. I'm a nurse, not a criminal. I have nothing to lose by talking to the authorities. Do you? Adaeze crossed her arms, channeling every ounce of confidence she didn't feel. I documented everything. The threats. The violence. Even recorded this conversation on my phone. She hadn't. But Boss Kong didn't know that. His eyes flicked to his men, calculating odds and consequences. The sirens grew louder. Finally, he laughed, sharp and bitter. Smart girl. Shame you chose these idiots. He gestured to his men. We're done here. For now. They melted into the shadows like smoke, disappearing through exits Adaeze hadn't even noticed. Within seconds, the warehouse was empty except for the three of them. The sirens passed by outside, heading somewhere else entirely. Min holstered his gun, breathing hard. You actually called the police? No. But he didn't know that. Her legs shook now that the danger had passed. She sat on a crate before they gave out entirely. Tae laughed, soft and amazed. You're incredible. Don't. Min's voice cut like a blade. The brothers faced each other, all the tension that had been redirected at Boss Kong now flowing between them. Don't what? Admire her? Love her? That's your exclusive right. Tae's voice rose. You act like she's property. She was mine first. Min shouted back. I found her. I protected her. I kept her separate from all this shit, and you couldn't even respect that. She's not a possession to claim. She's a woman who deserves better than being kept in the dark about who you really are. Tae stepped closer to his brother. You want to know why I fell for her? Because when Min's name came up, she talked about you like you were human. Not a monster. Not a criminal. A man worth caring about. She saw good in you that you can't even see in yourself. And you couldn't let me have that. You had to take it. Min's hands clenched into fists. Everything I've ever had, you've wanted. Every single thing. Because you take everything first. You're older by 3 minutes and you've spent our entire lives reminding me. Stronger. Faster. More ruthless. I'm always second to you. Always in your shadow. Tae's voice cracked. For once, I wanted something that was mine. Not ours. Mine. Stop. Adaeze stood, her voice echoing through the warehouse. Both men froze. Both of you stop. I'm standing right here. If you're going to talk about me, include me. Silence. Heavy and waiting. Min spoke first, his voice raw. Fine. I love you. I've loved you since you held my hand through surgery and refused to let me die. I gave you pieces of myself I've never given anyone. Vulnerability. Hope. The idea that I could be someone other than what I was made to be. He took a breath. Choose me. Tae's turn. I love you too. Maybe I fell for an idea at first, but last night, feeling you, knowing you, that was real. I can give you honesty. Partnership. A relationship built on truth instead of secrets. His eyes held hers. Choose me. And if I choose neither? Her voice was steady now. Clear. Both men looked stricken, like she'd stabbed them. What? Min whispered. I came to South Korea to build a life. Not to be a prize in someone else's war. Not to be fought over like territory. She looked between them. You want me to choose? Then prove you're worth choosing. Not with money or protection or pretty words. Show me who you really are. Both of you. She walked toward the exit, then stopped without turning around. I'll be at Gwangali Beach tomorrow at sunset. If you want me to consider this, meet me there. Separately. And come prepared to tell me the truth. All of it. She left them standing in the warehouse, two halves of the same broken whole, watching her walk away. The next day crawled by in slow motion. Adaeze worked her shift at the hospital, going through the motions while her mind spun. She checked vitals and administered medications and smiled at patients, all while feeling like she was standing outside her own body. Nurse G1 cornered her during lunch. Okay, spill. You've been weird all week and yesterday you left with two identical hot guys. What's happening? It's complicated. Complicated like which one do you like, or complicated like they're both in the mafia. Adaeze nearly dropped her coffee. How did you? Girl, I've worked in Busan hospitals for 10 years. I know the look of gang members when they show up in my ER. Your man had Yakuza-style tattoos. Which means his brother probably does too. Ji-won leaned closer. Are you safe? I don't know. Maybe. I think so. Adaeze set down her coffee, hands shaking. They both say they love me. Do you love them? That was the question, wasn't it? I don't know. I love who Min was with me. The tender moments between the intensity. The way he looked at me like I was his salvation. She paused. And I love who Tae showed me he could be. The vulnerability. The honesty. The partnership. So you love different versions of the same face. Ji-won squeezed her hand. That's not crazy. That's just confusing as hell. What are you going to do? I'm meeting them tonight. Separately. To hear them out. Adaeze checked the time. 3 more hours until sunset. Then I'll decide. Just promise me something. Choose based on who they are, not who you want them to be. Love the reality, not the potential. Ji-won stood. And text me every hour so I know you're alive. Sunset painted Gwangali Beach in shades of gold and pink. Adaeze sat on the sand, watching the waves, waiting. Footsteps approached from behind. She didn't turn around. Thank you for meeting me. Tae's voice. He sat beside her, keeping a respectful distance. I wasn't sure you would. I almost didn't. She finally looked at him. He wore simple clothes, jeans and a sweater, his hair slightly messy from the wind. He looked young. Vulnerable. Tell me about you. Not you and Min. Just you. He was quiet for a long moment, staring at the ocean. I'm the second son who was never supposed to matter. Min came out first, crying and fighting. I came out 3 minutes later, quiet and watching. That's been our dynamic ever since. He picked up a handful of sand, letting it fall through his fingers. When our parents died, the organization took us in. They trained Min to be a weapon. Fast. Strong. Ruthless. They trained me to be a shadow. Patient. Strategic. Invisible. That sounds lonely. It was. Is. He glanced at her. Min thinks I want everything he has out of jealousy. But the truth is, I just want to be seen as separate from him. My own person. My own life. His voice dropped. You're the first person who ever looked at me and didn't immediately compare me to my brother. That's because I thought you were your brother. I know. And I'm sorry for that. Sorrier than you'll ever know. He turned to face her fully. But even knowing it was wrong, I can't regret it. That night with you was the first time I've ever felt like I was enough. Just me. Just Tae. Not the lesser twin. Not the shadow. Just a man with a woman who saw him. Her chest ached. What do you want from me, Tae? Partnership. Honesty. A relationship where we build something together instead of one person protecting the other. He reached for her hand, then stopped, asking permission with his eyes. She nodded and he took it gently. I want morning coffee and late-night conversations and someone who challenges me to be better. I want you to see all of me, the good and the terrible, and choose to stay anyway. And the organization? The violence. She squeezed his hand. Can you leave that behind? I'm trying to change it from inside. Make it less about territory wars and more about actual business. Legal business. It's slow and dangerous, but it's possible. He met her eyes. With you beside me, I think I could actually do it. But I won't lie and say the danger disappears. Choosing me means choosing a complicated life. At least you're honest about it. She touched his face, traced his jaw. Thank you for coming. For being truthful. He leaned into her touch, eyes closing briefly. Does that mean? It means I'll think about everything you said. Min's meeting me in an hour. I owe him the same chance. She withdrew her hand and he let her, though she saw the pain in his eyes. Whatever I decide, Tae, know that you are enough. You've always been enough. He stood, brushing sand from his jeans. If you choose him, I'll disappear. Start over somewhere new. I can't watch you love my brother. He smiled, sad and broken. But if you choose me, I promise to spend every day proving you made the right choice. He walked away, hands in his pockets, shoulders hunched against the wind. She watched until he disappeared into the evening crowd, then checked her phone. 45 minutes until Min arrived. She walked along the water's edge, letting the waves wash over her feet, trying to organize her thoughts. Min appeared exactly on time, as always. But he wasn't alone. He carried a folder and a single black rose. He sat where Tae had sat, close but not touching, and handed her both items. What's this? She opened the folder. Legal documents. Contracts. All bearing Min's signature. I sold my shares in the organization to Tae. I'm out. Completely. As of this morning. His voice was steady, but she heard the cost behind it. That world is all I've ever known. But I'm walking away from it. For you. She stared at the papers, then at him. Min, this is your entire life. No. You're my entire life. That was just survival. He took her hand, thumb rubbing circles on her palm. I'm not good at words like Tae is. I can't promise you poetry or deep conversations about feelings. But I can promise you action. Proof. A life built on what I do, not what I say. What will you do instead? I have money saved. Investments that are actually legal. I'm looking at security consultation work. Helping companies protect themselves from people like who I used to be. He laughed. Hollow. Ironic, right? But it's honest work. Clean work. And Tae. You're leaving him alone in that world. Tae's stronger than people think. Smarter than me. He'll be fine. Better, probably. Without me, they're making everything a competition. Min's jaw tightened. I'm trying to let go of the rivalry. The jealousy. It's not easy. But for you, I'll try. She looked at the black rose in her other hand. Still beautiful. Still dyed. Still trying to be something it wasn't. Why me, Min? Really? You could have anyone. Because when I woke up from surgery and saw your face, I felt something I thought died with my parents. Hope. His voice cracked. You looked at me like I was worth saving. Not because of what I could do for you or how I could protect you. Just because. No one's ever looked at me like that. I did save you. You did more than that. You made me want to save myself. He lifted her hand to his lips, kissed her knuckles. I know I'm possessive. Controlling. I know I kept secrets and pulled you into danger. But I swear if you choose me, I'll spend the rest of my life being worthy of you. No more secrets. No more half-truths. Just us, building something clean and real. Tears slipped down her cheeks. And if I choose Tae? Pain flashed across his face. Raw and devastating. Then I disappear. You'll never see me again. Because I can't. He stopped, swallowed hard. I can't watch you love him. It would destroy me. And I've survived a lot, but I don't think I'd survive that. She set down the folder and the rose, then cupped his face in both hands. Min, look at me. He did, his dark eyes swimming with unshed tears. You are not a weapon. You are not a monster. You're a man who's been hurt and who learned to hurt back to survive. That doesn't make you unworthy of love. Then why does it feel like you're saying goodbye? His hands covered hers, holding them against his face like a lifeline. Because I need time to think. To feel. To understand what I really want. She kissed his forehead, gentle and final. Go home, Min. I'll have my answer tomorrow. He stood slowly, like his body weighed 1,000 pounds. Tomorrow, then. But Adaeze. She looked up at him. Whatever you choose, thank you. For showing me I could feel again. For making me want to be better. For seeing me as human when everyone else saw a weapon. He walked away, shoulders straight despite the devastation she knew he felt. She sat on the beach as the sun set completely, darkness swallowing the sky. Two men. Two kinds of love. Two possible futures. Min offered safety, intensity, a clean break from the past. Tae offered partnership, honesty, a chance to change the future. Both came with risks. Both came with rewards. She pulled out her phone, typed a message, then stopped. Her mother's words echoed in her mind. Power doesn't come from being chosen. It comes from doing the choosing. She thought about the last 3 months. Min's possessiveness that felt like protection. Tae's vulnerability that felt like trust. The way Min touched her like she was precious. The way Tae looked at her like she was an equal. She thought about who she was with each of them. Who she wanted to be. What kind of love she wanted to build. Finally, she typed a message and hit send. Her hands shook as she watched the 3 dots appear, then disappear, then appear again. A response came through. Simple. Just 2 words that would change everything. She stood, brushing sand from her clothes, and walked toward her future. Whatever it held, it would be her choice. Her power. Her life. The beach behind her held the ghosts of 2 possible loves, but ahead of her lay the reality of the decision she'd made. The city lights of Busan sparkled like promises in the darkness. She smiled, peace settling over her for the first time in days. She'd chosen. And whatever came next, she'd face it with her head high and her heart finally, truly her own. Before we find out what happens next, drop a comment below and tell me where you're watching from. Are you Team Min or Team Tae? And make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because part 2 is coming soon and you won't want to miss Adaeze's final answer. Trust me, what happens next will blow your mind. Like this video if you're as hooked as I am, and let's get to 10,000 likes to make part 2 even longer. I'll see you in the next one. Some choices change everything. This is part 1. The answer comes in part 2. Until then, keep choosing yourself, keep choosing your power, and keep choosing love that sets you free instead of trapping you. Peace.